Good evening, everyone, and welcome to My Sister Keeper Candid Conversations. I am your host, Nadia. This is season 1, episode 3 of Candid Conversations. I hope you have been enjoying all of the ladies that I have brought on thus far, that has been giving you encouraging messages at the end of the show, and of course, providing great opportunities for you to join them as well. So this evening, I have two additional guests with me who are actually visionaries of their own anthologies. And I want to make sure and bring them to you so that you can, if you're thinking about becoming an author, you can definitely join them in their anthologies. Last episode, we talked about again authors as well, who turned their chapters into a business. And then I got all these messages that said, Nadia, I'm interested in anthologies. Do you have any that you are can recommend? So I researched and I found two additional visionaries who have projects that they have started, and they are continuing to look for co-authors. So I cannot wait to introduce you to each one of these ladies this evening. So first, we have Kenyatta Powers. But before I bring Kenyatta Rucker's Powers, but before I bring Kenyatta on with me, I would love to show you her commercial. So enjoy.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. My name is Kenyatta Powers-Rucker, and I am the Chief Information Officer for the Maryland Department of Human Services. I specialize in helping women and leaders to excel in their technical and leadership positions and to become conscious of their existing abilities, all to grow and take their careers to the next level. I am founder of the Taste of Technology, which is a program that provides awareness and exposure of technical careers to our youth. It helps children and young adults to understand and get to know the different types of technical careers that could play a big part in their future. I am also a 3 times best-selling author, and I'm currently working on my 4th book as the visionary author of Ladies in Tech, Sharing Expertise for a Successful Career. Me and about 19 other ladies are sharing our stories, our experiences, our challenges, and how we've overcome them in this anthology. So I thank Nadia for having me on her platform, and I look forward to speaking with you all later.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Miss Kenyatta to our show this evening. Hello, Kenyatta. How are you?
Hello, hello, hello. I am fine. I am fine. I am fine. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for joining this evening. And I am loving Ladies in Tech. Okay, I know we are underrepresented in this world of technology, right? So we are going to dive into the conversation about you as the visionary. But first, I want to definitely talk about you, the author, right? So tell us a little bit about the books that or anthologies that you have been in so far.
So I have been in three different anthologies. My first was Women of Virtue Walking in Excellence with Dr. Tashika Green. So that was so eye opening for me. I was able to share how God pushed me into situations that I wasn't expected, right? So that was a real eye opener to be my first anthology. So, but
Right.
it's feel like when you start anthologies, it becomes a little addictive. And
Right.
so once I got to finish that one, another opportunity arose with Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant and my second anthology of leadership, stepping into leadership greatness. And so being in technology and leadership, that one again was right up my alley, talking about different types of leadership styles. And my third anthology was with Dr. Sharon Porter, and that was Women Who Leads in Technology. So that
Mm.
was similar of sharing somewhat of a story of how I got into tech as well. So once I'm in these anthologies and I'm thinking, especially of the field that I'm in technology, of how well it's needed to have a another anthology about women in tech, right?
Mhm.
And how we got there, who we are, sharing our stories. And so I'm thinking I've been asked even after that third anthology, oh, I have another one. Can you join me? Can you join me? And I'm like, I'm not joining another anthology until I do my own. And it took me a couple of years. It's a little
Mhm.
longer than what I had expected,
Right.
but it has always been on my heart to be able to have this Ladies in Tech anthology, and it is designed to be a resource to ladies in
Mhm.
tech, right? So it's has different topics of different situations that women may face in the workplace. And you think about it, and it's really ladies in tech, and the co-authors are ladies in tech. But
Right.
some of this information is just any woman in the workplace. A lot of situations are, dealing with salary negotiations, dealing with imposter syndrome. These are dealing with different things that, any woman actually can face in the workplace, especially in these male dominated fields.
Oh, I love that you are able to explain, the different types of co-authors that you were looking for, right? Because we would probably think, just maybe a woman who is in tech, but you want to definitely highlight how we as women work in some male-dominated
Mhm.
roles, and we are, working there, but we are underrepresented or maybe underpaid, all those things, and you want to definitely take a look at those type of stories for your anthology. Is that correct?
That is correct. Although women make up close to 50% of the US workforce, we're only 25% of women in tech. And
Wow.
so we are significantly underrepresented when it comes to the tech industry. And so one of my goals for this book was to highlight one, the ladies in tech, and that there are more than, people think. And you think, I guess because of me being in the field, like I come across some and, try to, we always, you see that connection. We just always be connected, but also of those ladies that's being co-authors, but of who we're speaking to. There's
Mhm.
also ladies in tech about, thinking of getting into tech or already in tech, and facing these same situations. But yeah, so
Absolutely.
the co-authors of the book, oh man, they're experienced in so many different levels. It's just completely amazing of
Amazing.
the different types of positions, and everybody is in different stages in their careers. Although we are seeking a couple more
Right.
co-authors, but yeah, so everybody is in such different stages. Some are just beginning, but when I looked and see the total, we're looking at close to over 200 years of experiences in this book. So
Wow.
as you look at all of the years of experience that some of the authors are, and we're not finished yet, right? So we're still
Yeah.
looking for more.
Right.
But we have currently right now over 200 years of experience of ladies in tech in the workplace. So yeah, pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. Yes. I mean, which means you are getting a variety of stories. Like you said, someone who's just starting versus someone who has been, there for years and can
Yes.
definitely explain how throughout their years, how they have been impacted in that male dominated industry and things of that nature. So I am glad that they're able to come on board and share their stories. One of my questions, another question for you is: have you always been interested in technology? What made you decide like I'm really interested in tech? Let me pursue a career in it.
Well, I took a couple classes in high school, and I did major in it in college when I first
Mhm.
started college, but I never finished college. So
Mhm.
life happened.
Of
I had
course.
my son, and after I had him, I never went back to school, and I never went back to tech. So I was actually in another field altogether.
Wow.
And I got laid off from that job
Hmm.
unexpectedly. So here I am. My son was like 2 years old at the time. I
Hmm.
just bought a new house, just bought a new car, and I'm unemployed. And so it's like, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? Okay, Lord,
Right.
what we doing?
What we doing? Right. Right.
So he definitely laid it on my heart to go back to my roots, to go back to tech. So I took a few classes and got a few certifications, and actually is when, and it's a whole longer story when it comes to that. However, but that's when went on 1,016 interviews and
Right.
finally got the job of the contractor of working for the state. So being in tech was something that I always loved. I remember my mom brought my first brother it was a typewriter at the time, and it had a little screen to it. So that was
Right.
our first home computer. Oh, yeah, that was the best thing since ice cream. Couldn't
Right.
lay hands on it, but you could type,
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, it's definitely had a heart for it growing up.
Right. And how technology has evolved since
Yeah,
then, right?
yes, that was a little brother typewriter with a little screen that you can actually see what you were typing on the screen. It was crazy. Yes, so
Wow.
technology has evolved so much since then. I always joke
Absolutely.
about the Jetsons,
Right?
the cartoon, the cartoon, the Jetsons. They had it all laid out about where we were going when it came to technology.
That is so true. Like you look back and you're like, yeah, we have some of those things now, right? And before it was like, no, we're
We're
not gonna
not,
be able to do that.
not even
No,
close. I think
not
we
even
still had
close.
the rotary phone back then when the Jetsons
Right.
came out.
We might be aging ourselves, Kenyatta.
Right, right, yeah, yeah.
We might be aging ourselves, but definitely, I think even now, because I have an 18-year-old son, right?
Mhm,
And the information that he's learning about technology, I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that part of
mhm, mhm.
technology because he's in college. And so I love to see, of course, the continuation of evolving,
Yeah.
especially in the world as we know it today, evolving with technology. So I am thankful. I know, you and I worked together on we talked about the design of your book cover. And when I tell you your book is right on time in representation of women, ladies in tech, because sometimes when I'm designing, I'm looking for inspiration, right? And I just
Mhm.
went and Googled, ladies in tech, what covers would look like. And there was like two or three that just looked, basic. And I had
Yeah.
to call you like, we're gonna have to design our own and any kind of not have any kind of model. So I definitely am thankful that you took it upon yourself as a visionary to really highlight ladies in tech and showing how we as women work in some of the male dominated
Mhm.
industries doing the job just as well as the men are doing the job,
Mhm.
right? But we are
Absolutely.
underrepresented when it comes to being in public, right? So it is very nice to see that you took it upon excuse me, took it upon yourself to um to be the visionary for us women to show representation. And now I understand how why you say representation matters. Like all that clicks to me now. Like I understand that tagline, representation matters. It definitely does. So I know you do have a call for authors. So I would like to find out, how can we reach you if we are interested in joining you for your anthology, Ladies in Tech? What is your contact information?
So my primary contact information is my website. That is KenyattaPowersRucker.com. And my social media, all social media, the biggest place is probably Instagram and Facebook, but Kenyatta Powers Rucker on all social media. And so if you DM me or go to the website, there is a place of where you can register, and I'll have your name and information, and we'll get back to you with some additional information if you're ready.
Perfect. And so I know you are, of course, letting us fill out your form, and then, of course, you will contact us
That's
and then have a conversation if we're the best fit for your anthology, correct?
mm-hmm.
All
Yes.
right.
So once you fill out the registration form, it gives me a lot of information about you and even a writing sample why you're doing it. And then we will have that conversation about if there's something you're really ready to do.
Right. Now, let me tell you, when you said all the questions that I know you are in tech, right? Because I work with some people who are in tech, and it's like, oh yeah, you have to answer these questions before I can, like, move forward. So I definitely get that part. Absolutely. But I want to thank you for joining me for the first half of the show. I'm going to have you in our waiting area. I'm going to
Okay.
interview with one additional person. And then, of course, I'll bring you back so that we can end the show together. Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Ladies in Tech, Misunderrepresented anthology by Kenyatta. Of course, if you are interested in joining her anthology, definitely go to the website, fill out the form, and Kenyatta will definitely contact you to be a part of her amazing anthology that's getting ready to come out. So the next guest that we have this evening is Miss Iris Wright. And before I bring Iris on the line with us, I want to share some information about her with her commercial.
Hi, my name is Iris Wright. I am looking for authors. We have a new anthology coming out called Injustice. So if you have ever experienced any type of injustice, this book may be the right book for you. If you would like to be a part of this project, please give us a call or go to our website, iris.wright.com. And our phone number is 757-243-3160. Again, we are looking for authors that have experienced injustice, different types of injustice. So some examples of injustice is going to jail for something you didn't do, or getting your kids taken away, or racial injustice. It's so many different ways that we identify injustice. So again, we are looking for authors. Our book will launch May 20th, 2023. If you are a good candidate for this book and you feel though that you have the courage and the bravery to go ahead and wanting to heal and wanting to share your story, we would love to have you. Thank you. Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iris Wright to the show with me. Good evening, Iris. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am good. I am good. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And man, oh man, we have a conversation to have this evening. Just the title of your book alone. But before I jump into your book and your anthology, I definitely want to talk about you as the author because I'm showing our guests that you can start with anthologies and write your own book and then jump into being a visionary as well. So, can you share with our audience the different types of books that you or different types of anthologies that you have been in and their titles?
Yes. I'm in a lot of anthologies. Some of them are words of wisdom. Volume 2, I'm in that anthology. Audacity to be empowered, I'm in that anthology. Joy 365, I'm in that one. Breaking the chain breaking experience, I'm in that one. Worthy women, I'm in that one as well. And I'm in a lot of anthologies.
Yes.
And I Fearless Living, that's another one I'm in. And it started with Words of Wisdom originally.
Mhm.
I always wanted to write. I enjoy writing, and I guess I didn't have the courage to put everything on paper or the motivation. So I ended up joining visionary Kathy Staten in her book, and I started writing and couldn't stop writing. um, so that book really did inspire me to continue to go on writing my feelings, learning how to get things out on paper, and being comfortable with writing. So now I'm the visionary of my own book called Injustice, and I have a solo book that'll be coming out shortly after called Injustice: My Story.
Wow, wow. So I love the fact that, you tried out the anthologies yourself and able to master definitely. I know different visionaries do different things within their anthologies, and of course you were able to pull the information from those anthologies to start your own.
Yes.
Now, the title of your book is called Injustice. I mean, all you really needed is that one word, right? Like it made a powerful, powerful impact. So tell me, what made you decide, or how did you come up with the title for this book?
Well, when I was 18 years old, I was facing over 20 years incarceration for a crime I didn't commit. I lost my daughter. It took me almost 5 years to get my daughter back. And I have been literally probably suffering in silence for over 20 years, trying to heal from it, going through all the emotions. Even it affected so many things in me, inside of me, my anger, how I
Mhm.
raised my kids, my family. And I dreamt this book. I didn't know I was going to write it, but I dreamt it like over a decade ago. So I felt like I had the power to do this, and I had wanted to change my negative thoughts and feelings that I had, because you have so many things going through your brain. If people find out this about me, how are they going to think of me?
Right.
Um, and I'm to the point in my life now where I don't care what you
Mhm.
think of me. This is who I am. And I wanted to take that negative piece that held me back from doing things that I wanted to do. I wanted to figure out a way to make it positive. I
Mhm.
didn't want injustice to control me. I wanted to be able to control injustice. And I wanted to be able to fight without fighting.
Right.
Um, so, and when you're going through this phase of injustice, you're thinking you're the only person. You know you're not the only person, but your brain is thinking that you're the only
Mhm.
person that experienced something like this. And now with me going through this journey, I'm meeting and talking to so many people that are telling me their stories and what they have been through. It's starting to be like, this is a movement for me. So it's more than a book,
Mhm.
for me. So we need to continue to talk and raise awareness about it, because we're not going to make any change. And as we see here in 2023, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
So we're talking about everything, but things that are really, really happening. Those are the things that we should be talking about. So January, I made it my purpose to make this a part of my everyday life for the rest of my life. Wasn't sure how I was going to do it, but I'm excited to say that this was a great start.
Yes, yes. When I saw the title of the book and we talked about that, I was, oh, this is perfect. You don't need to add any more words to this. Just injustice is what you needed, and of course with your subtitle. And I do realize that, of course, I saw your posts on social media of all of the other co-authors that are joining you on this project. And like we talked, we thought like we were the only people who, if something had happened to us, we're the only ones that's facing these issues, right? And coming from looking at, the co-authors that you are, posting about, there are a lot of people just in society that have just been going through, as you say, injustice, right? And it's great that you, as a visionary, I definitely want to thank you for providing a platform for us to come to tell our stories, right? To tell our stories of things that have happened to us that really shouldn't have happened to us. And like we have to clear our names, or we have to work as harder than the next person would have to, just to show that we were wrongfully accused of something, right? Whether it's in the workplace or just in society, and in general, right? So I definitely want to thank you for providing the platform for us to come and share our stories. And I will pause for just a few moments just to, of course, engage just a little bit with my listening audience. Thank you all so much for listening to or joining me for Candid Conversations with my sister Keeper. I am talking to Iris Wright, and she is the visionary for Injustice. I definitely want to say hello, Cynthia, all the way on my YouTube channel. Thank you, Cynthia, so much for joining me this evening. Cynthia says, I have my listening ear out for this project. So, Cynthia, if you want to be a part of this project with Iris or Kenyatta, make sure you are paying attention at the end of the show. We're going to show their contact information again so that you can connect with these amazing ladies who are providing platforms for co-authors to come on. And as you can see, these ladies have experiences with anthologies. This is not their first go around with anthologies. So they know exactly the process that it takes to have a successful campaign, and they know exactly how to coach you as well through becoming an author, right? And thank you again, Jacqueline Sinclair. Hey, Jackie, thank you so much for listening this evening. And Jackie says, ladies, you all rock, right? So she is thankful for you all, of course, providing that platform. So again, thank you so much for to my listening audience. Make sure you're commenting and letting me know where you're listening in from. And of course, liking and sharing our broadcast, because these two anthologies you guys asked me from my last show, like, Nadia, tell me about some anthologies that I can be a part of. So I'm bringing two to you this evening: Injustice, as well as Ladies in Tech. So you all can share your stories. So definitely stay tuned for this end of the show, and I will show their contact information again so you all can join these anthologies as well. So, Iris, I'm coming back to you just with a last question. Again, I love the title of your book, Injustice. I know you are looking for co-authors to be a part of your anthology. So can you please tell us, how do we get in contact with you? I'm going to show your website information. So can you tell us your website information as well, please?
Yes, you can get in contact with me through my website, iris-wright.com, iris-wright.com, or you can find me on social media platforms, Facebook, Iris Wright, or author Iris Wright. I'm on Instagram as well. I'm on LinkedIn. So you can definitely, I'm all over.
Perfect. And of course, when we reach out to you, you do, I'm sure you have a screening process that we will fill out some information, and then you will get back in contact with us, and then you can see if we are a best fit for your anthology. Okay.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining me this evening. We are at the 30-minute mark of the show. So I am going to bring back in Kenyatta to the show with us. And we are going to discuss anthologies. We're going to discuss the benefits of just being a visionary, because both of you ladies took it upon yourselves to come out and provide amazing platforms for co-authors, and both of you all have some topics that are definitely needed to be discussed and definitely needed stories to share. So the question that I do have for you all, and I'll ask Kenyatta first, is how do you is there a different feeling from being a co-author to a visionary? How do you feel becoming a visionary and starting your own anthology? Oh, you're muted for me.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so the difference is, well, especially in the first few anthologies, I was kind of laid back a little, kind of seeing how things go. I never even heard of an anthology until my first anthology. So I was kind of, sitting back and seeing the differences, one with the first one and the second one and the third one. And what really, really got me was the reaction of how much it was needed. And I'm like, okay, so me being a lady in tech, it's also needed, right? So let's get out there and being able to help and support. But it is definitely a difference of the amount of work that it does take to be a visionary author. But because this is definitely something that I absolutely love, I was just telling my husband the other day is, yes, it is work, but I am enjoying it.
Right.
I am enjoying being a visionary author. So
Right.
I like to see how the reactions. I like to see the co-authors and their reactions and how they're receiving everything. And a lot of them have already been in anthologies as well, so they're kind of used to what's going on. I would say the big downfall to being a visionary author is people that are not familiar with
Mm,
it and can't receive it.
right.
Where that you get this, how are you doing this and why are you doing this? And, so some people, anthologies just aren't for everybody.
Right.
But so that would probably be the downfall. But the upside is so rewarding and well
It
worth
is.
it.
More ups than downs, right? I definitely like
Absolutely.
that. I like that.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So, Iris, tell me, how does it feel to be a visionary, and what advice would you give to anyone thinking about being a visionary? For me, I would definitely say make sure you join some anthologies first, right? So that you can get an idea. But what advice would you give to someone who's becoming a visionary, and how do you feel?
Um, I guess first, like you said, join some anthologies, take notes, join more than one. Every anthology is different. Everybody structures everything's different. So you can get an idea of what to offer in your anthology. If there's something that you don't like it in this one and you see this happen over here, you can kind of take what you like and run and have it organized yourself. Um, I would say that I'm thankful. I like anthologies because it did get me to the point where I start to get my pen to start writing. And another thing that I love about it is collaborating with other like-minded people and women, and it makes sense to me because if someone's reading this book, they may not resonate with my story, but we have other authors in there, and they say, "Oh, this resonates with me." So I understand what's happening. So I looked at it as a way of collaborating and networking, meeting like-minded people, also learning from those people, because a lot of the anthologies, they're older, they've been writing, they've been publishing for a long time. So I really was able to get a lot of knowledge um, out of those anthologies. So I would say be teachable as well, because you learn, and by they be teaching you stuff. A lot of them do, like a lot of anthologies I'm in, they teach you things. So be willing to learn. Don't act as if you know what you're doing a lot of times. So, and be respectful. So as the visionary, I'm treating this project like I am the co-author. How would I would like things, and how I'm doing my packages. My co-authors are part of pretty much the whole process, from planning the live event. And I don't never use the word I use we,
Mhm.
our project.
Right.
Um, I want them to feel like this is ours. We're going to be building this together. When they're out promoting, we're all in the book, so we're all out promoting. Um, and that's what the feeling that I wanted to give. I wanted to make sure it's very respectful.
Oh, good. I definitely appreciate, and I'm sure your co-authors appreciate that you're making them a part of it, and that's really key, right? It's our book, it's our our project, and they would definitely enjoy being in that collaboration. I know for me, I am a 5-time best-selling author as well, all anthologies, right? I have not gotten the bug yet to do my solo project or write my own or become a visionary, because I see the things that visionaries go on. So you really have to be dedicated to the project, right?
Yeah.
Dedication is key to the success. You can't get like overwhelmed in the middle of the project and like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this anymore, right? You have to see it all the way through to the campaign, to the best-selling campaign versus the virtual launches or the in-person launches. So there's so many things that go into being a visionary, right? So I definitely tip my virtual hat off to both of you ladies for taking the baton and becoming visionary authors, providing platforms for co-authors to come on to share their stories. So at the last 15 minutes of the show, I would love to just, of course, go around the room. I'll go back to Kenyatta. And what I love to do at the end of my shows is just give a positive message to my listening audience. And again, Devetta, oh, thank you so much for listening in this evening. Happy to hear that you are enjoying the show. I definitely want to have you ladies share some positive message to my viewing audience, just so that they can continue their week, month, year with a message that comes from you. So, Kenyatta, I'm going to start with you first, please.
I am going to say never give up. I was in a position of where I thought I had lost almost everything. And this is when I got laid off from that job.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the world was coming to an end of me not having a job and being a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
And me getting laid off from that job was the best thing that ever happened to me. I would not have been here and not have been CIO for the department if I had not gotten laid off from that job. So sometimes when we see and hear the think that it's the worst thing that could happen to you at that time, whether it's losing a job, losing a house, losing a car, losing a loved one, losing a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Right.
Um, Sometimes it's not as bad as what it may feel at the moment. And then you get to see, realize later that, thank you, God, for giving me something that I didn't even realize I wanted, that I didn't even realize I needed. So I thank you for seeing ahead of me than what I knew.
There you go. Absolutely. And definitely never give up. I love that message, because you could have gone a different direction if you did, right? Like, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, things are so bad right now. But with drive and determination, you were able to pick yourself back up, and look at where you are now, ma'am. You are
Yeah.
providing platforms for co-authors, and you are, in tech, and this is absolutely amazing. I love your story of triumph as well, right? So I am showing how you can reach Kenyatta if you would like to join in her anthologies, Ladies in Tech. Her contact information is kenyattapowersrucker.com. At the end of the show, I will be placing her website information in the comments as well. And definitely reach out to her if you would like to share your story about working in the workplace in a male dominated field. How are you coping? How are you surviving? Like, share those stories with us. Okay, so thank you, Kenyatta, so much for sharing that positive message with us. I thank you for that. Next, I am going to have Miss Iris. Can you please share your positive message for our audience?
I want to say, don't be afraid. Um, Pray about it. Don't be afraid. Listen to your passion and your purpose. Listen to that voice inside of you. Me personally, I quit my job before the pandemic. I've always wanted to do work on my own and start my company. And I read Steve Harvey's book Jump, and I said, you know what, I'm turning my 2 weeks notice in, and I'm done. And it was the best decision I have made. Here now, it's 2023. I'm
Mhm.
running my companies. I do have setbacks, of course. Anything that's good, you have setbacks. You got to get back
Mhm.
up and you got to keep rolling and find out how to fix it, which I'm pretty good at fixing things. But I was afraid to take that first jump because when you're working, you have this job and you think you depend on it. But I think the pandemic showed us that that's not dependable either.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that he removed me right before the pandemic,
Right.
and got me situated to where I was able to provide. Because if I didn't, I worked in healthcare with my son, school shut down and everything. I probably wouldn't have been able to work.
Right, right, absolutely. Well, thank you so much again for providing that platform that's definitely needed for us to share our information about injustice. Thank you very much. I know I have a question from my audience member. Cynthia asked, how important is it to have, open activity on social media platforms for joining a project, right? So if they joined your project, would they have to be active on social media? So Kenyatta, I'm gonna defer to you, right, for that.
Yes, yes, and yes. Yeah, social media. So one thing about the anthologies is that it does rely on promotions. It rely on, and social media is one of the best places to be able to, the best and free way to be able to promote your book. So it's one of the things that I share with my authors is a lot of the promoting is a lot for the individual, right? So the more you post, the more you react to your post and people commenting on your post and you commenting on their comments,
Right.
it noticed even more. So of course that's the algorithm in social media, right? The more you interact with that post, the more it gets seen.
Right.
So I definitely encourage to post. I also, and I'm sure most anthologies, you provide the language for them to post so you can have a consistent message.
Hmm.
And then you usually try to post around the same time or what have you.
Right.
So yeah, social media is huge. To in order for you want people to come to you to buy the book, so
Hmm.
you have to have your platform available for them to come to you to buy the book. So
Right.
social media is the best place to be able to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you so much for that advice, Cynthia. I was gonna say yes, yes, and yes, like Kenyatta said, right? You can't say yes enough about being active on social media. Now, I know there are some audience members who may not be as active as you would want to be on a daily basis, right? But you have to think about anthologies as an investment that you are making for yourself, and you now need a return in your own investment, right? And for you to get a return in your investment from joining an anthology is to be active on social media, right? And as you guys know, I am a branding and marketing specialist right here for My Sister Keeper. And one of the things that I work with authors on is, of course, branding themselves as an author. And branding yourself as an author is very important, even if you're coming out of an anthology or starting with an anthology. You want to be able to take that chapter from your book, brand yourself, and now you can go out and make sales from your book. But what do you need to make the sales, right? You need your website, you need a signature logo, you need, so these are different things that you would need when you are branding yourself as an author, just to give you examples. I am sure, because I work closely with Iris and Kenyatta, they are willing to provide you the necessary information that you would need to be a successful co-author, not just being a part of the anthology, but even future. You'll be able to take the information that they're giving you from their anthology and now step out on your own to either write with another anthology, write your own book, become a visionary, or just brand yourself as an author and go to speaking engagements and talk about the chapter that's in your book. There are so many options that you have when you are either in an anthology or you become an author. You have again started your business when you become an author. So don't think of it as a one and done, right? Like after the excitement is over in the anthology, you now take that baton, that book, and you step out and you now carry that book with you and be successful as an author. So brand yourself as an author. If you know you're not able to write an entire book for yourself, I just found you two amazing anthologies that you can join, right? Because you guys asked me, Nadia, you said you knew anthology visionaries, and I have full faith in Iris and Kenyatta that they will give you the necessary information to be successful. So definitely reach out to either one of them if one of those titles of their books, whether it's Injustice or Ladies in Tech, tug at you and like, oh, I can really write a chapter in one of these books. I encourage you to reach out to these ladies. I want you to know time is of the essence, right? So they're not going to keep this opportunity open very long, because when you are in an anthology, you have deadlines that you have to meet, right? And as the visionary, they're working with a publishing company, and the publishing company is giving them deadlines that they have to meet. So the very first step that you need to take is to contact the visionary to be a part of the anthology. And then, of course, they're going to give you the information needed and the deadlines. It is important, very, very important, that you meet these deadlines, right? I know we all have busy schedules, but if it's in your heart to become an author and you are not able to write an entire book, you can definitely join an anthology. However, time is of the essence, right? So these opportunities are not going to stay open very long. I know Kenyatta is wrapping up within about a week from today for looking for co-authors, because she has people pending already for her anthology, and I'm sure it's the same for Iris. They're getting ready to go into phase 2, right? Phase 1 is call for authors. Phase 2 is let's write these stories and get it to the publishing company so that we can meet our deadline launch. So word to the wise is when you see these websites come up for in the chat later on this evening after the end of the show, I suggest you go to the website, sign your form, and connect with either Iris or Kenyatta as soon as possible, right? So that you can now become and trust me, their campaigns are going to get you to best-selling status. I definitely know that for sure, because they know how the campaign works. Okay, so definitely join either Kenyatta with Ladies in Tech or Iris with Injustice, and get the title of best-selling author in the year 2023 added to your title. Okay, you're going to thank me later when you get that title. You're going to see all the doors that open up for you when you become best-selling authors. So I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to Candid Conversations and joining me this evening. Again, I'm going to be on next Thursday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to personally thank Iris, Kenyatta. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening on Candid Conversations with my sister keeper. You all are providing some amazing platforms, and you guys are amazing coaches and visionaries. So I cannot wait to see on social media that each one of your books have become Amazon bestsellers, and we are definitely going to be celebrating together. So I hope each one of my listening audience and viewers this evening have an amazing rest of your evening and weekend, and catch me back next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Candid Conversations with my sister keeper. Have an amazing evening.